Hello. Oh, we're recording now.
Amazing.
So, this is a particularly lax episode, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of all are. So we just kind of chat, and then hope it turns into something.
Because I'm not a scholar or a YouTuber.
Oh yeah, no, neither are any of us. So
okay, that's good.
Yeah, I ain't no nerd or no sicko for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah, we don't really ever have a docket or anything. We just kind of go and just.
And ironically, when we do have dockets, people seem to not like them in advance. So
I like dockets. I like the questions people were interested in putting forth on the thread when you were like, oh, it's the queen herself. And they were like, oh, ask her these questions, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, they had a bunch of questions.
In my humble opinion.
Oh yeah, those were good too. Yeah, but we're very lax. Like we just like start rolling, and like maybe we use the beginning, maybe we don't even use it. Just also we don't even know. We have to remind ourselves when we're recording. We're just like, yo, are we recording today? Like. That's how like we don't even know. You know what I mean? It's very like unprofessional.
That's nice. I hate professionalism.
Yeah. Yeah.
We usually go in pretty raw, and then like we just kind of hit the stride. Yesterday when we did like that 2-parter, I like felt kind of blessed that we got to. Our half of it was the second half because it's like we get the post warm up.
Yeah,
we were in full stride at that point.
Yeah, with Twink Rev and like everybody we do the crossover with, we always take the back half because that's when everybody's like sauced and nobody cares anymore. They say wilder shit. I mean, that's different how we do it.
Absolutely. So we'll talk to Bimbo for like 3 hours, and the 4th hour we'll finally get some workable material.
Okay, let's begin, I guess. Yeah.
I like this idea of we just have Bimbo host the show.
Angie was hosting last night. She was hosting
I was gonna say like let's just lean into it. Just be the laziest, most ungrateful.
So I'm at Slavoid T.
All right, this is Shit Spouter 37.
This is Black.com pilled.
This is the Fed Post.
Laziest, most ungrateful podcast.
Oh, finally a woman's on. Please, just control it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we do like rules. Mm-hmm. That's right. Like stability.
Right. All right. Well, okay. We could start now. I mean, I guess we don't have like too many concrete topics, but I guess tomorrow is Women's Day, right? That's International Women's Day. Is that tomorrow?
I thought we had a whole last month, yo.
You did.
Oh, is it?
I don't know when that happened. That's fucked. But
yeah, there's a whole month. You're trying to shrink them down. Sirke's trying to actually give you the full month.
It's erasure. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, tomorrow's the official day, I believe. But I guess you're the best. I mean, we've talked about like fertility rates and like some nerd shit and like parenting and all that, but we haven't really like gone too much into the state of women. I guess you could. You're probably the best.
Question.
Yeah. Maybe you could just tell us
what's the deal with these broads, Sandra?
Yeah, where are they at? What are their demands?
Well, I think we're hurdled towards, it seems we've heard men kind of bring up like the concept of, women and stuff, and people all have an opinion on women and stuff
all the time.
But,
all the time.
I think seemingly there's this thing where basically I think that men are even angry. Well, men have always been angry at women, and women have always been like, fuck men, kind of. But, I think people used to like each other a little bit more back then. I don't know. I'm delusional. I'm only like 24. But the thing is, I do think that the post-industrial economy has not really been amenable to traditionally masculine skill sets. I think like the stuff that due to there's been like there, in the past, I feel like there was more opportunities during the Industrial Revolution for somebody to have, for like a man in particular, to go and have a stable job and then like one income to feed the family. And men and women have been working since antiquity as well. I'd say the 50s in some ways was an anomaly where, you know, a huge swaths of women could just stay at home while the man earns a living. But, you know, due to technification and outsourcing and automation, I think we've been seeing negative ramifications in our post-industrial economy with like a bevy of unemployed men. So,
yeah,
you know, and you see that in like OECD countries where there's like been this asymptomatic retreat from marriage and family creation, and all the jobs have been gaped in trades and manufacturing. And we do have a liquid modernity that is incredibly alienating for everyone, especially young unemployed men who can't afford to court women, date women, marry them. They can't buy a home. And high income women, like the striver types, they're doing better financially. They may not be creating families or anything, but their skill sets are, you know, more so, I think, appreciated. I think HR is a feminine trait. I think that, you know,
HR bullshit.
The work we have, the work we have today, I think, is more amenable towards, you know, like towards women. Like women are, I think, better at rote memorization and like the Prussian style school sort of thing that's bent on like rules and focus and discipline. Like, yeah, I think a lot of young boys, they just kind of want to play around, and it's not normal. And before you could just not go to college and you could still work and have like a respectable, well-paying job, but not anymore. But there are more femcells than incels. There, like if you look at this one, yes, there was a general social survey. It was pretty recent. I believe Spotted Toad wrote an article about it. But there's the cohort of women ages 18 to 34, low income women. And notice I specified low income women. That is, they have been not fucking anyone. They are femcells. They're like the men who are low income men ages 18 to 34 who are also not banging people. And I could send you that chart. I mean, I hate statistics, but that was really telling. I think it really shows that it is like a class warfare thing, and that low income women are also being fucked over by this. Think about it. If you're like an ugly woman, a poor woman, and let's be real, like a lot of being pretty, like it is contingent on having money to make yourself look good.
Yes.
For sure.
You know, if you are a single woman who might have maybe even a single mom, right? And you are working 3 jobs and you don't have time to prep food or go to the gym or take care of yourself, you really think your dating life is going to be that good? Men are going to ignore you. When men take umbrage with women, what women do they take umbrage with? It's usually conventionally attractive women who seemingly have it easy in life, and those women seemingly have it easy until, you know, they age out. So, you know, it's not all so cut and dry.
I think class has a lot to do with the whole issue. And like what you're saying about like being wealthy in correlation with being able to stay attractive, for particularly like also to look attractive, but to stay attractive longer. Like I worked at a beauty spa for a while, like doing just like guest management shit. And the women that came in there were like women who paid $100,000 to be a member of the spa a year. So they had money, obviously, and they were like 50, 60 years old, and they still like, you know, you could tell they were taking care of themselves, and they didn't look quite that old. Yeah, definitely. Like not like my mom has never stepped foot in a spa or something at 65, you know. yeah, some of them for sure, no doubt.
And the funny thing is, like the women
they had
who
money
are
too.
high
I mean,
income,
goddamn.
You could either if you could find an older wealthy woman with like a Bichon Frise or whatever, like or a golden doodle,
that's the dream.
She could take you to the Riviera, and you know you could be her boy toy.
Yeah, she gets a heart attack and you collect all the will. Yo, that's the dream, man.
That's why people get mad at women in Sex and the City, because those are the only women who have the income, that archetype, like, of women who get away with the changing status in our liquid modernity and like the ramifications of it all, of being single and alienated. Those are very rich women, and these same women, they will talk about, oh my God, I am like big and bad and I don't need no man and everything. And they don't, because they have a shit ton of money and they may have had a big chunk of money from a divorce. But like there's like a downstream effect of these, what I call luxury beliefs, because what you end up having is you have these higher income women in middle and upper management jobs, and they're largely insulated from the demands of being a single woman because they have access to daycare service, nice Montessori schools, extracurricular programs, au pairs and nannies. Right. And, they also are the ones who are likely to talk a big game, but they end up getting married and having a stable nuclear family. And then you have all the working class women in like these like service sector jobs, toiling in the workplace and raising children at the same time, and they're dealing with the brunt of all of these changing norms, but you have big and powerful institutions celebrating these shifts at the detriment of these single moms and children. And it's just really sad to see. So that's why there are in many ways more femcells than incels. Not to downplay the alienation and unemployment and lack of purpose for plenty of young men. But I think that the future we're headed for is this like sexless, androgynous, like consumer-based, hellscape where both men and women are ultimately shafted and hate each other and want to
specifically not shafted.
Yeah, not shafted enough, right?
Yeah, and they just castrate every part of what makes them a man and what makes them a woman, and then we end up, it's like very gray and sterile.
So how do you think stuff like OnlyFans and other like online social media stuff particularly is leading into like our transition or kind of quick acceleration towards that future?
I feel like an abundance of something, like a seeming abundance, so to speak, because people are still basically in a sex drought. Like, seeing a picture of somebody or watching a video of someone is really, even engaging in a parasocial relationship, it's not the same as having like a full-fledged relationship, good and bad of it all. I mean, people are choosing these options because these options in many ways are close enough to reality, but people are scared of the reality of a relationship. It's much easier to not face rejection or, the risk of a real relationship when you could merely talk to a reply girl online or swipe right on someone. But what we're experiencing is basically this inauthentic existence of humanity, like of Dasein. It's like people are going to say, I would rather have sex with a sex robot and order garbage off of Uber Eats because it's far too scary to engage in a conversation with a real life woman. And it's much easier to get over the uncanny valley stare of a sex robot, even if you have to stuff it in the closet at night.
This is like something we were talking about recently.
Embrace Japanese thought.
Right. Like this idea of like taking like simulation, like counterfeit over the actual real thing is just like, it's just so fucking horrifying. And the idea that like in a lot of cases, like, I mean, it does do the trick for a lot of people.
What do you think about the same with video games? Like, think about the incentive structure of video games and how that affects you on a personal level. Why do men play Crusader Kings 3, for example? Not to bash Crusader Kings 3. I know it's a very fun game, but it's basically a deviation from boring white collar work to, you know, dig into base and primordial instincts to create pillage villages, create kingdoms and spread your seed. You don't really get to do that much anymore. Well, maybe
some guys can't.
Yeah, I'm built different.
And the technology is getting so much better. Like, you know, you could use neural stimulation to reproduce feelings in skin. You can create the feeling of being in love through, you know, the vagus nerve. You could have deep learning. Shit. Yeah, you can add. The virtual option is increasingly enticing because it's adding incentives and games and like challenges and pursuits, and you can easily get sucked in. Twitter is a time suck for the same reason, but you know, it's only gonna get more intense and more deep.
Yeah, I think we're definitely, I mean, it's a cliche, but we're definitely like a hedonistic society. I mean, that's why they want to bomb us, you know, women's society. Hey, I don't blame them. Yeah, I totally get that sentiment. But yeah, I mean, especially with the robot sex thing, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we used to everything just on demand and perfectly catered to how you like it. And it's like, that really just gets straight to it because you don't have to worry about, you know, making yourself vulnerable to a robot or any type of, you know, nagging bullshit from your robot wife or whatever. You can
program the nagging, the appropriate amount of nagging that you want.
Right,
because I think men love crazy women. I don't believe in this belief that I think men are lying to themselves when they say they want this malleable, pliable, you know, doormat of a woman. Malleable. You get bored of that really quickly. For all this posturing about like you know, I don't know what the fuck trad shit. It's like, if we think that having a family and having a spouse and a stable family is deemed trad, humanity is in really deep shit. So that's why if someone calls me trad, I don't agree. That should be the baseline. That shouldn't be an identity, you know?
Right. I think that a lot of that, like it's just kind of like extreme ways of looking at it a lot of the time when people act like, oh, like I want just like this really passive, malleable, you know,
pungent, right?
Oh no, don't even get me started. Rubbery,
crazy pussy is most malleable, most pungent.
All right, you fucking degenerate.
Sorry.
I think that a lot of this comes out of just like losing the ability to kind of articulate some kind of like maybe shades of gray in the middle or something
because think about how people talk now. It's like literally just a few. It's all hyperbole. It's not just all hyperbole. Totally. The amount of words we use in our lexicon has shrunk by a significant degree. We use less words now than our grandparents and our parents, you know.
Buzzwords and acronyms,
Yeah, this is how people talk now, depending on which sphere they're in, you know, or like which cyber milieu they're in. But our words have gotten a lot more like limited, for sure.
You think so? Yeah, I mean, this is something. Well, this is random, but I've been thinking about how like my like IRL normie friends I have will like see my. I don't show it to many people, but like the few that have seen my page, they'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, not for a lot of I try hard to make sure they know what I'm talking about, but I realize like I learned a lot.
Like, bro, check the pinned predictions tweet. That's what I'm talking about, motherfucker.
Wake up, son. No, but like. Look, I try I don't want to mischaracterize it. Like, they don't look at most of my, like, you know, most of my shit is pretty digestible, right? But like, you know, layman's terms or whatever. But like, there's some stuff where it's like, I realized that I took a lot of time to like learn internet fucking lexicon and taxonomy and all this bullshit and fucking leftist shit. And I'm trying to like deprogram that shit. I'm trying to get that out of my, even lib shit, just like POC and like shit like that. Like, I want to unlearn all that shit. I hate that I learned it. And I'm like, why do I say these things? I don't care who says it. I don't care what like.
Dude, you're going to be exiled from your PMC job if you stop saying shit like POC.
Well,
I code switch, but that's the thing. I code switch when I'm at work, and on Twitter, I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? But like,
I like the idea of this whole topic, just ending it at CRK, just going, yeah. Some people I know IRL just look at my feed and just go, what the fuck, and that's just the end of the topic.
I mean, when I talk to my in-laws and they're like, Sandra, what did you do today? And I'm like, and then I tell them and they're like, what the fuck did you just say? I don't understand any of the stuff you just said right now. It's like, and well, I am online. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm wondering, like, if it's limiting, because is it limiting in that, like, I feel like there's more of these bullshit words that come up, and it's just like, you know, now it's like, oh, there's a new bi-POC word, and there's a new thing that you have to learn. So
I mean, chest feeding is the new chest feeding.
What's chest feeding? Breastfeeding?
Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's breastfeeding.
Whoa. Shit, man.
Yeah, pregnant people.
It's like, that's so dehumanizing. It's like, it's the equivalent of calling a woman's vagina a front hole.
Are we not calling them front holes?
Yeah, look, yeah. I mean,
that's like, it's just, you know.
Yeah, it's limiting in that, yeah, it's bullshit.
It's very clinical. It's very clinical. It's even, I don't know how you could get more clinical than vagina, but they just managed to do so. So front hole is the most clinical word. I mean, same with chest feeding. But, you know, they just managed to do it. It's impressive.
It's just to signal to other people that you're hip to the newest woke language, or you're hip to the new lib lexicon. Like, that's really it. That's
like, get in your chest feeding pod. Shut the hell up.
Like, why do I have to make exceptions to, you know, some people who make up 0.03% of the population? But this is the thing. I think there's like this institutional push to make us all like sexually and androgynous or whatever the fuck. And, you know, it's this vested interest to make us lack any identity whatsoever, so you can impose, you know, the purchase of whatever the fuck comes out. I mean, I think about my young brother who is a bona fide twink, and he played with my Barbie dolls growing up. And it's very sad to think that now, if he was a child now, and if he wasn't raised in the sort of family that we were raised in, like if he was raised by like this very rad lib mom, right? Like a rad lib white mom. And if he, you know, was playing with the Barbie dolls, like that mother would have maybe suggested now, hey, you know, you can castrate your dick off. Maybe you're not a boy. Maybe, and it's when
She's
he's
like,
actually
you like the girl toys, so you must be a girl. Like, let's reaffirm some gender norms real quickly.
Yeah, you're reifying these like really strict gender norms in some way because, you know, you like things that girls might like, or you like things boys might like. And you're basically turn him into a eunuch if he was being raised like right now instead of, say, the mid-aughts. So this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing I have trouble reconciling, is that the idea that they want us to be all androgynous, but at the same time, they do want to push the battle of the sexes and the gender war. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how to reconcile those things. Like, I don't know if you guys have an opinion on that, but it seems like I see both of those things happening. But yeah.
For sure. Because people are hating each other now. Like, you know?
Yeah, it's all cultural. I mean, I hate that shit. Like, just the whole, like, just like the men and women, like boys versus girls shit on the timeline, and like the incels and the femcels, just like, you know, depicting like the worst side of the other and just being like, oh, look at these, they're all like this. Oh, you know, just
posting their L's. Everyone's posting their L's. And don't get me wrong. I enjoy these accounts to a certain extent, but it's just like, don't you realize that there's this concerted effort to make people hate each other and to not let them socialize with one another?
Right,
you know?
right.
People need to. This is why in my bimbo caliphate, people will have state subsidized attractiveness services, gyms everywhere, you know, good food, good drink, good libations, good skincare routines. And I'd pay people straight up to have babies and have strong, stable families and stuff. To love one another, to be, I like countries with hot women and good food and good fertility rates.
I like that too.
Speak on it. Some sturdy broads.
Yeah.
Like which ones are these you're thinking?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, okay, Poland.
What's the ticket price?
I mean, okay, say what you will about some place like Israel, but they've kind of done that in some fucking way with their IDF nubiles. Like all the women are in shape and hot. They
Love
have
me some Israeli broads.
Yeah, for an OECD country, their fertility rate is above average, and the food is good. So put everything aside about like all the shit that goes on there, but that's an example. Poland has also done this with like basically given money to people who make families. They've done better than Hungary in this regard. If America is going through some sort of Brazilification, the least we can do is become as hot as Brazilians.
I heard Korea is doing some shit like that too, like paying people to like to have families, or like, oh yeah, like or giving them like days off of the week, like, all right, go home, get the fuck out the office, go home and fuck your wife. Like they've got like those types of like programs, because like, yo, you need to stop working.
I like just straight up like government mandated holidays to go home and fuck your wife.
They did have classes. There was this Korean university, I believe, that had a class where people had to date for a grade. They had to date people in the class, like go on different dates with people, because they desperately need people to fuck each other and stuff. Those East Asian countries, in a way, are like a harbinger for the things to come, in a way, because Japan is like 5 to 10 years ahead of us.
Oh yeah.
Socially, the commodification of every facet of sex. Like, it's not like a whole, like, you can go get your blowjobs here. You can get somebody to cry with you there. You can go and get this fleshlight over here. So it's like, it's not even a one-stop shop. It's like specific shit. You could get it at a one-stop shop, but you'll get like the certain specific sexual or intimate experience, and you buy that, and it's like really fucking weird. There was this one mechanical hand I saw. There was a Japanese man walking with this mechanical hand, and the mechanical hand simulated the experience of holding a woman's hand, like hand squeezing and all.
Oh, man.
And it's just like,
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at this.
Like, this is what we're headed towards.
Yeah. I saw that. I mentioned it on Low Society last night. But like, these pillows were like, it's just a woman's legs, and guys sleep on the pillow, and like women will sleep with like half a dude.
It's not even a whole ass person. Like, it's not even an escort. It's just literally distended, just objects.
You think we'll get that in our lifetime, like in America, just like I don't know,
in the next year or two, dude.
You think, like chains, like big, like franchise chains of like sex stores and like shit like that. And just,
Well, don't we already have? Isn't like Lovers like a big chain sex store?
Lovers? Where's that?
Yeah, it's like God. You asking for a friend, bro? Asking for a friend. They already have like nationwide chains of sex stores. I thought
they do.
If you drive
through
it's
like
anywhere in Kentucky,
it's a hyper
you just
real
see
now.
You just see like mad warehouses off the interstate. They're just like crazy sex
it's
toy
like
shit.
The truck stop sex store in American tradition.
Wow, there's one right near me. That's crazy. That's amazing.
They're everywhere, but you have a woman class redux killer, so you don't really, you know.
Well, for her, yeah, sure, yeah.
But that's the thing, though. I think it's a hyper real now. I'm not looking at Japan and saying, oh, that will be us. I mean, it will be us, but it'll just be a more enhanced version of what we have now. We already have that. Like, as I said, the rise in people who are largely unemployed and not banging anyone has increased exponentially. It's like insane.
Yeah, I mean, the economy gets worse. It's only gonna get worse. I mean, I don't know.
And it's not
why.
just men either. Like, that's what we have to reiterate. It's incels and femcels. It's people. it's like low income people who are not.
People need money to fuck. I mean, I don't know if that's like controversial.
Well, it's not even just
you need
purely money either. It's like a lack of like meaningful jobs and livelihoods, also like alienating people and making people feel less valued, and like that has this like an effect like psychologically, and that
it can affect your it can affect your sense of self-worth, like your amount of free leisure time or just free time outside of work to pursue, you know, enriching your own fucking life outside of just being a worker, all those things.
Yeah.
And even like the way you identify. Like even like gender identification like gets more blurry when there's less like less rigidly defined jobs, and not necessarily rigidly defined, but like Bimbo was saying earlier in the episode, there's like, if you're just like a dude and you want to just go out and get a job lifting some shit like and be able to provide for a family, you just can't really do that as much now. So like being able to
or you could shit yourself at an Amazon warehouse
a little bit. Yeah, exactly. You could do that, but it's even still not really the exact same thing, because like you're just doing some like probably just looking up numbers and some shit like that and pulling like, you know, a box off of whatever thing. Like it's less of a meaningful job than like producing some shit that you're building for your like with your hands, and you see like, oh, I made this steel part today on the line or whatever. Like, so that leads to like people just like just a blurriness all the way around, and people are less able to kind of fulfill their innate and baser desires and needs like through their livelihoods. It turns into like what Bimbo was saying with like video games appealing to those, and sex robots and stuff appealing to the same kind of way to where we get our value from that we could experience through our livelihoods.
Yeah, because like, what do you do is like the first question, you know what I mean? It's like the first initial ice breaking thing. And it's just like, you know, before there might be, you might give an answer and then they'll be like, oh, someone in my family does something similar or whatever. Like there's like a reference point, but now it's just like, oh, I collect Funko Pops or something, or I play like a Battlefield or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, I go to work and then I just go home and I open my big fat mouth and just have fucking content poured into it. I have no original thoughts of my own. I don't ponder anything, and
I don't know who I am. I'm struggling every day with an identity crisis.
That's exactly it. Sometimes it feels like there's just an empty vessel looking back at me in the mirror, and I don't know why I'm doing any of this. Who wouldn't want to sign on for a lifetime of being partnered with this?
right. Watch Taxi Driver and American Psycho on repeat.
Right. I practice telling strangers, "Are you talking to me?" in the mirror. Practice my quick draw with revolvers.
Yeah. I'm saying this like half jokingly because it's real. I mean, I've been lucky because I've been with my girl for like this whole lockdown. But I mean, this shit is bleak. I mean, I don't know. Like, Bimbo, you've been with your partner for the whole lockdown, right?
Yeah. Me and my husband have been together the whole lockdown, and every day I'm very thankful I haven't been kicked out. Well, right now we're with the in-laws in Winnipeg, but we are based in Toronto. And the thing is, I've been very lucky to be with somebody in lockdown, and even to have the in-laws as well. They're very good and stuff. But I've been going crazy because shit is locked down up here way more than it is down there.
Really?
In the States, absolutely. Like, I think I've been going insane. I doom scroll Twitter a lot. I cook too and stuff. I go on my Lindy walks. I feed my dogs. But this has been very bad for women. You know, if you feel like women have been more annoying on the internet, just know that these lockdowns have ruined that for us. We need to interact with people. We need to be able to leave the house. If you ban brunch, where the fuck are we gonna go? Nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I know for one that I would be like fucking going crazy if I wasn't with my girl. So I would not be handling this well. But do you think that women? Because there's always like the question, like, the
women question again?
No. What you just mentioned it, like, who handles the lockdown better? Like, who's better built for these lockdowns? And I guess like the quick, stereotypical assumption would be women can handle it better. But do you feel like they handle it worse than men?
I think I think it's just extroverts in general who handle it worse. Like, and the bad thing is, in North America, there isn't really this concept of a shared public space and shared public works. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's just, you know, you drive somewhere and then you get to the store. You know, there might be green spaces depending on the cities you're in, but it's not anywhere close to the old world. Loitering is very good for the human spirit, and we do not have this concept of loitering. There is no public space. There is private space and the sort of liminal space where you drive to and fro somewhere. But you don't
and it's more
really
transactional too.
Absolutely.
Like you have to pay money or whatever to experience
I have to pay money to stay somewhere.
Right.
Even the mall. The mall is the closest
to
thing to a public space.
Exactly.
Indoors in inclement weather where a person can hang out in North American society. But what has happened to malls? For the past 20 years, they've been gaped. Mall culture is more prevalent in Canada, I'd say. But malls are the new Victorian houses. You know, they're kind of being like left and abandoned and overgrown in a lot of places. And you have to, and there's this assumption that you take upon this exorcism of shopping. Shopping is exorcism in a way. You're purging the bad spirits by shopping. You can't do that, really. I miss shopping.
Women be exercising, yeah. No, this is the thing is like I was thinking about that because like I somebody had told me that malls used to be like community centers or whatever, like. But basically. Like, yeah, the thing too is like, you know, young kids, like high school kids, like that's where the fuck they'll be chilling.
I used to just go walk around the mall. Like we'd get fucked up and just walk.
That's what that's what kids do. They just go there, they post up, they buy shit, buy food, look for girls. Like that's what it was. And now it's like that shit is just gutted. Yeah, it's like it has to go virtual now. That's the thing. Yeah.
It's a shame. And that's why, you know, in many ways, the reason why there's this nostalgia for the 80s was this was the height of mall culture. That was the zenith of American consumption, save probably for, I don't know, the 50s with like post-war America and abundance and everything. But like, you know, the 80s nostalgia, I think, stems from that. Because that's when people would hang out at the mall, like kids and shit. You'd spend your adolescence in the mall.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And SLAV, I don't know. Did I remember you had said before like modernity is better suited for women, or what did you say? Like
for sure. For sure.
You're saying women are the perfect neoliberal subject.
Oh,
I thought I said that. Oh, SLAV said that.
No, the perfect neoliberal. No, the perfect neoliberal subject is transgender people. But yeah,
women have been hurt from this too, man. This is the thing. Like it seems like we're headed towards a PMC matriarchy, right? Where delicate office sensibilities and post-industrial work is more suited towards women. And as I said, like the post-industrial economy has not been amenable to men, but the future we're headed towards, as I say, is filled with IKEA furniture, down-tempo music, butch haircuts, and basically getting rid of your genitalia. And then the end stage of all this is killing the people who are deemed not useful for the economy. The economy, before, the poor were used as a useful reserve of labor. What happens when they're not deemed useful anymore? Well, our elites want to travel light in this liquid modernity. They want to toss away anyone who is deemed a burden. So I would not be surprised if some sort of Moldbugian virtual option comes up where anyone who's deemed useless is forced to, you know, become an inevitable husk of a human being, holed up in a sarcophagus-like structure strapped to devices that pump so-called nutrients into their body, and they live out their lives in the technosphere. It's a dissolution of the biosphere into the technosphere. So while women seem like, oh, you know, they're doing fine now, we're getting fucked too. Women are not going to be good enough. They're just going to be, you know, they have to chop off their titties. They look what they did to Lola Bunny.
That's very true. Lola ain't no country for Lola Bunny. I think that like in the modern workplace is like definitely more compatible with like femininity than masculinity. I think that like the real divider here is just like obviously like the class lines and everything. So like, yeah, like working class women, working class men,
always
like, have no place there. Not that it's like a competition or anything, but like, yeah, I mean, I think like I would rather be like socialized into like having more feminine character traits if I'm going to have like a kind of more office workplace politics sort of work life.
SLAV, you guys start HRT and chop your dick off?
Honestly, like if shit really starts to get rough, like trying to make rent and everything, then 100%.
Talking to the member like, you're on the chopping block, bud.
You're on notice.
But even like the workplace for women, in some ways, it's like there's this expectation to basically get the worst traits of men, right? Like in a workplace, right? Mm-hmm. In corporate, and only care about profit margins. So like that aggression, that like being a fucking dick, the bullishness. It's like, and in business casual clothing, that castration of femininity for sure. And I mean, I want to go to work wearing a silk caftan and making enchiladas for everyone, but there's no job for that. Which is why I think we should dissolve all HR departments, replace it with one or two employee ombudsmen to look at complaints within the company, because most HR people, all you do is in HR is you just do nothing and you get fat. If you work in HR, you just automatically balloon. There should be a chief morale officer, though. There should be like an office lady in Japan in the 80s. Basically, it's like one hot bitch with like maternal instincts who creates boozy brunches and cooks for people and like does like office lady work. I think that should be a thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's
they
hard
just
to
called
correct
it
now.
The job position was just office lady, right?
Yeah, it was just office lady.
Basically.
But I think the
Office
chief
mom.
morale officer would be an elevated office lady role. And if you grope the office lady, the chief morale officer, all chief morale officers will be trained in the art of Krav Maga or Muay Thai. And if you grope the office lady, there will be no Me Tooing, but she can kick you in the nuts, go for your eyes, and bash you with a billy club. Yeah, I don't believe in Me Too. I think if somebody gropes you, you should learn you should beat people up, not grovel to prostitutes.
Okay, so this is interesting because this connects to we haven't talked about this recently. Is the Cuomo thing that's been going on? How they're just throwing his ass.
Lock his ass up, dude.
Yeah,
which donor did he piss off? Like, I want to know.
Yeah, dude, I honestly think like a huge part of this because I read like a Times piece that kind of made this point, and I actually think there's like something to it. Is like this whole like era this small moment in time we had where like I think like the Dems were trying to come up with their kind of like counter Trump figure. Because they couldn't acknowledge that like the closest thing that they actually really had was like Bernie, I guess. And so we got who was that one like dirtbag attorney?
Michael Avenatti.
Thank you. There was him, legend. and then obviously like Cuomo was one of them, and like Cuomo was like one of them, and I think like a lot of it is just kind of like clearing out the system now and kind of trying to just like forget this like this experiment in branding a little bit. Like that obviously doesn't explain all of it, but like I heard that take and I think it's kind of
good.
I think it's kind of compelling. Like they did want to like do their little test tube
Chad liberal.
Safe to take home to mom version of liberal Trump.
Right.
Which again was just like curmudgeonly Bernie Sanders for the most part.
Right.
And so now they're just like they're purging Cuomo. Also, like, am I missing something? Like, I mean, no love lost. Like, if they want to destroy Cuomo, like, sure, that rocks.
That motherfucker.
But like, what did he actually even do?
Well, this is what I'm thinking.
I read this, and I'm like, okay, I have no doubt that he was very Italian and virile, and probably kind of a creepy divorcee, and he was definitely shooting his shot at work. But I was expecting to read something far more salacious. Like,
what are the allegations?
I mean, he's just like he's just like touching women on the cheek and like doing
I worked as a bartender. I worked in a club. Like I'm sick and tired of this. Like, like if I'm gonna have a daughter, I'm going to teach them how to say no. And I know not all men like respond well to a no. I know there's creepy men out there, but like, you really think you're going to educate men by telling them what not to do? People are sick and tired of being told what not to do. So the best thing you can do is to like actually learn self-defense. Cause I'm sorry, like patronizing people or, lecturing them, it just doesn't work. People are sick of expertise.
That's true.
People are sick of being told what to do. Gulabi gang or bust. Like if you have it's really detrimental to the agency of a woman if you tell her like you can't fight, you can't do anything. Yes, there's sexual dimorphism, and I'm never going to beat a really buff man, but you can learn about the use of using your body weight against you and technique and self-defense and using a Glock or something or pepper spray.
I mean, to be fair, surely there's a middle ground between like telling people to just be like limp, agency-less victims towards like at the mercy of the world, and just like telling them that they're on their own and they need to like learn MMA techniques.
Yeah. Well, this is it's like the thing with the telling like your black son or whatever,
don't go to a news outlet. How about that? I like what people do in like Egypt. In Egypt, okay, where there is a huge problem with groping broads on the street, and when I went, like, because they grope everyone. It doesn't matter. They're very sexually repressed there. They grope all the women. Do the Egyptian women go to the prostitutes to talk about their problems? No. They have these apps where they notify other women, hey, there's like a groper on this street. Stay away from that street. They don't use, something like Cuomo being a slightly creepy, slightly like flirtatious Italian in the workplace and grovel to prostitutes because he pissed off someone in the donor class. They're not trying to cynically further their career. They're notifying other women in the community there's a groper, and these women aren't stupid. Like, they know they're women, and they're not going to be like some big beefy like 200-pound fat fuck who's going to like grope them on the street, but they're realistic about shit, right? Like, I think that's the middle ground. I think we get a gig economy where people can hire 200-pound bull dykes to go beat up gropers. That sounds. If it can be a full-time position, for sure. If there's a way to deviate from the gigification of that, we can keep our dykes employed full time. Yeah, and we need to preserve the last remaining lesbians. There surely aren't really enough of them. They're dying out. They're going extinct. Authentic lesbians are going the way of like masculine black men. They're losing out on their privilege points here relatively soon. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, their days are numbered.
Yeah, we gotta value our dykes so they don't chop off their tits, turn into dudes.
Absolutely.
I feel like the middle ground is just like, if you have like a black son or whatever, and like you got to tell them like, yeah, I mean, it's not good, it's not cool that you get profiled by cops or whatever, but shit, you gotta know how to conduct yourself in those situations. You got to take extra precautions or whatever around the situations. It's not fair, but that's just what the fuck it is if you want to like survive.
That's the same thing with women.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. The middle ground is like, you can be like, yo, this is fucked up. This is not how it should be. But if I had a daughter or whatever, I'd still be like, look, you're going to have to learn like certain precautions. I mean, because there's like this angle of like this feminist angle of like, oh, you should tell your daughter to do whatever the fuck they want, whenever they want.
No, I don't believe in that shit. The world's just fucking
suicide.
Cruel.
Yeah, it's suicide. So it's just like, look, I mean, it's the same thing for, for anybody, like any marginalized identity is just like at risk of like, harassment or profiling, whatever. Like, you just got to be like, yo, you just have to know certain things, where to go, how to act. You just got to know these things to be safe. It's not fair, But you just have, that's what you got to tell your kid. I mean, otherwise, you know,
that's
you
why
can't
I don't
expect
think
the world to be a utopia.
classes are. I don't think that's why I don't think the defense classes are like so out of the like. It's not crazy. Like kids.
I don't either.
Parents take their kids to
Everyone
karate
should be
class
taking
all the
self-defense
time.
classes.
Sure, yeah,
exactly.
For sure. But I don't think that it's like a thing of like, yo, it's like women's responsibility to like to the burden is on women to handle all these situations. I mean, I don't put it that like all the weight on that way either.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's
like,
my responsibility as a future mother to teach. It's not like, oh, you know, daughter, I'm throwing you out to the wolves. But it's going to be my responsibility as a future mother to say, watch your drink at all times. Do not leave your drink on the table. Go for the nuts if you have to. Don't let anyone talk to you. Like learn how to say no. Like that's going to be my responsibility. Sure, but
it's still worth saying like this is fucked up, obviously.
Oh,
like,
obviously.
There's also societal cues that we could take. Because like with the Cuomo situation, like for instance, if you know that he's probably a creepy, like divorced old guy, don't build him up as a sex symbol, maybe, so that he doesn't want to actively act on that. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah, I mean, these women are confirmed non-Cuomo-sexuals. They're Cuomo-phobic. Right. I mean, like what? Like, is there in the zeitgeist right now kind of like a breadcrumb trail that leads women to kind of like can think of themselves as like powerless and without agency in this kind of ironic absolutely right absolutely I think that like obviously having some kind of like recourse outside of like individuals so that they can like make it so that you can, you know, go to work and not get fucked with by people is
but police don't test rape kits, man. That's why I'm so
okay. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to the most dramatic case here, but what I'm saying is like again, like if we're talking about like giving resources and you know entrenched authorities to be able to like to back people up that are having a hard time, I think that's a good thing. I think the real flaw here is that we're talking about Cuomo, and I think we're buying into just like the basic neoliberal framing generally, which is just that like this is political pieces on a chessboard being moved around for very practical reasons, like they always are. And like this isn't like upstream like leading into any like personal lessons that anyone can learn or anything. Like this isn't some vindication of like feminist ideals or anything. Like
it's to cover up the granny killing.
No, exactly. Like this is someone's career being destroyed for very specific reasons. And I don't even necessarily like want to play into this whole idea of like, well, like we need to teach these lessons and this is the moral of the story. Like there is no moral of the story. He's some scumbag and he's being brought down by other scumbags. Should you sexually harass people? No. Like that doesn't even cross my mind in this though. You know what I mean? because no, it's like he was yesterday's potential 2024 candidate and now he's nothing.
Oh, this is purely political.
He pissed off a donor.
Yeah,
or some shit.
I don't even I don't even honestly want to get into the actual like psyop that's trying to be pushed by this because it like has nothing to do with it, honestly.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I wonder, like he got hit with the nursing home thing, right? That nursing home scandal of like hiding the numbers or whatever. I guess I'm trying to think politically what did him in. I guess it was that, and they were just like, all right, he's dead wood now. Let's toss him off and like.
That's exactly what happened. They trivialized sexual assault by covering it up with this Me Too thing, papering it over, and they trivialized the granny killing. They completely glossed over it. That's what they did.
They gave this cocksucker a fucking Emmy for his teleconferences on fucking COVID. You know what I mean?
Did they actually give him an Emmy?
He's like a nominee or something for it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You didn't see that shit, dude? I lost my mind. Dude, all live pandemic, I've been like, he's been my favorite subject because just how fucking retarded he is and fucking like his paper mache mountain and his weird ass fucking poster and these pictures of him just smiling like a fucking child. Yeah, he's just smiling like a fucking child. Like, oh, look, we brought down the curve. Look at this paper mache project I made. Like,
I'm gonna talk to my brother on CNN. Big pile of green goose shit.
It
looked like a big pile of green goose shit.
Yeah, he's such a and he was talking about like there's all these homeless people in the subways now because of the lockdowns and it's disrespectful to the MTA workers. It's disgusting. His shit is disgusting and just gave zero fucks about these people. he's a low down lib reptile scumbag, and they gave him a fucking Emmy nomination or something for his TV conferences on it, and they had panties with Cuomo on it. Like,
that's so on the nose.
Dude, honestly, fuck this shit. Like, I actually love that. I hope they do more awards like this because I just want them to just invalidate all awards shows and all ceremonies.
I mean, they were
like
they're all invalidated merely by the fact that they don't take place in person anymore. Where is the glamour? Hollywood is going to go the way of the dodo. The future is going to consist of tabloids worshiping celebrities of yore, like, that are aging out.
The future of art in the West is just going to be Nerdist articles talking about we need to talk about the series finale of WandaVision and
motherfuckers on Twitch and TikTok.
right. Vouch arguing with somebody about what if Woody and Buzz in Toy Story were gay or something.
So you're just gonna see articles about aging celebrities like Jessica Biel or Beyonce or Justin Timberlake. So you're gonna see them age out, and then the rest of the tabloids are going to be relegated to Insta thoughts or people married to basketball players, so micro celebrity, and then like who's streaming on Twitch or whatever, and then like political celebrity. Like, what did AOC say on her stream while she was cooking, I don't know, a stir fry? Like, that's basically the future of celebrity. There's no more glamour or mystique because people want a constant stream of content.
You remember fucking Elizabeth Warren cracking a beer open on fucking like IG Live or Facebook Live or some shit? Like, she was trying to do that.
To emulate AOC in some capacity.
Yeah. And Kamala started dancing after the AOC viral dancing thing, and like, she's the new Obama, like the celeb president type thing. That's what that is. That's the way we're going. But yeah, the Cuomo thing was really
Elizabeth Warren was dancing on Saturday Night Live too.
Right.
Oh yeah,
right.
That.
Oh my God,
she was dancing with Kate McKinnon.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's just funny with this Cuomo thing. Like, they were really pushing him to be like the lib candidate. They're like, oh, maybe he'll replace fucking Biden or whatever. And like, they did all this pressuring of him to be like, you got to be the COVID guy. We're at the epicenter. You got to fucking get these numbers down. You got to fucking make a big deal of it. And surprise, with all that pressure, he does some shady shit to fudge the numbers with the nursing homes. Like, what do you expect? And they did all that. And now, because he got caught doing what they wanted him to do, because he did that, now they're tossing him to the fucking wolves. And again, like, I don't care about this guy, but it just shows how fucking psychotic they are and how they work. Like, these reptiles, like, that's what they do. Like, it's all calculated.
You're socially expedient one day, and then another day, you're bye-bye. So that is the future of celebrity. And I think the same is going to happen to...
Yeah.
I mean, that's happening with modeling too. Like, who buys stuff? It's like well-off liberal women, and they're going to buy random shit. That's why they want Amanda Gorman to be a model. That's why they want Ella Emhoff to be a model. I mean, that's why Mina Harris is a model now too. Amanda Gorman also got signed on as a model, that poet chick. And I feel like they're going to throw her out to the wolves too, because she's not trans yet. So I don't... It's just not. It's not a matter of if, but when.
Ella Emhoff. That's how you say her name. I forgot about her. God,
is that the fucking
model girl? Tied to Harris.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. What's the deal with that broad? I don't know.
Well, it's just like blatant like nepotism, but like, yeah.
Holy shit! It's weird. Mina Harris has a T-shirt brand where she just sells T-shirts with shit on it that says like "say her name" and stuff like that. I'm reading an article right now on New York Times that's Mina Harris.
Yeah, she literally got
brand.
Signed.
Say her name. So Mina Harris.
Sicko shit.
She got signed onto an eight. Yeah, she's like, I believe her sister or niece. I have no idea.
I think it's her niece.
Yeah.
She left her role as head of strategy and leadership at Uber to run her own fashion company called Phenomenal, where she sells T-shirts with phrases like "say her name" on it, and quote unquote "I'm speaking." Oh my god!
Oh my god!
So really fast, the "I'm speaking" thing was like one of the most planned things this last year, right? Like at the debate.
And this is what I mean. People don't like being lectured. Saying "I'm speaking" is the embodiment of like some nagging woman nagging everyone and just speaking to them in a condescending way. It's like it truly represents the cultural zeitgeist. It's like when Hillary tweeted, "Oh, the Party of Freedom Fries wants you to know that cancel culture is a big deal." Like you sense that condescending, smarmy tone, and nobody's gonna like listen to that.
Oh, yeah. I remember now at the debate. What was it? They had that "I'm speaking" moment, right, with Harris. Like, her whole thing is so,
which is funny because like I'm not wild about Pence. Obviously, I don't know that there's like a ton to like, but I kind of do just like the fact that he's kind of just like a complete blank canvas, and he just does that vaguely concerned, polite smile that makes that shit just makes the people arguing against him look deranged when they do things like that. Like, he just needs to do that kind of like Protestant, like pursed lips, kind of steepled eyebrows, like poor wretched soul look, and like she just looks like a shrill woman, and that's all that happens.
Right.
Like, I don't like either of what they represent particularly well, but it's like watching like two antagonists fight each other. you kind of appreciate it.
He's thrown into the woke world, like he's thrown into 2021 from like his fucking Amish
1950.
background.
Right, he's fucking Amish.
He's just like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? My POC. No, but her whole thing, Harris's whole thing is really the celeb. But that one is so forced, you know, like, oh, she wears Timbs, she's wearing Converse, like all this fashion stuff with these people around her.
Were those Timbs even real?
Probably not. Probably.
I like the idea of like the vice president is like wearing like knockoff like fake sneakers and shit like that. Who started? Like, do we know who started the whole like staying up on the fashion choices of like this?
Wasn't it
of this
Michelle
politician?
Obama?
You think so?
No, I mean Jackie Kennedy. People kept up with her, but her stuff is more couture.
Yeah. I almost feel like there was a lull because I remember the pantsuits with Hillary a lot.
Okay, if you're talking about hot, like low fat, like retail sort of ready to wear stuff, I mean that stuff was because there was a certain sort of distance that Kennedy had with her. Like, it was couture, you know, there was like no illusion she wasn't from a certain class. She had that mystique. But if you're talking about like, oh, I wear J. Crew, but I mix it up with like Oscar de la Renta, that was definitely a Michelle Obama thing. And she was they tried to hype her up as like this like sexy woman, like look at her arms. She did work out and everything, but you know, it's really weird to not grace Melania on the covers when she is actually so fucking hot, and Michelle is not nearly as attractive as Melania.
Well, people hate hot people, especially those liberal broads.
Yeah, it's bimbo oppression. That's what it is. It's bimbo.
It is bimbocide.
Bimbocide, yes, that's the word.
Michelle Obama getting the preferential treatment over Melania is just dudes winning again and again.
That's sicko shit.
It's really mean.
Bringing home the gold.
It's like when somebody posted me on the Red Scare Pod subreddit and I got compared to Ella Emhoff because I have curly hair. I don't
because the
look,
curly hair.
That's it. It's me.
You're like, bitch, I don't have a mullet. Up. Fuck you.
I don't have a mullet. It's so rude.
You don't live in Bushwick.
I don't live in Bushwick. I don't have any poke stick tattoos or tattoos at all.
Don't wear patchwork clothing.
Yeah. Stick and poke tattoo of somebody with a stick and poke tattoo of like a dripping pizza slice.
No,
shit like that, or one that just says like shit show on it.
It's just a fuckload of stencil tats that don't mean a goddamn thing.
Yeah. You get like the Pabst Blue Ribbon logo on your calf or something.
Oh God.
Yeah, so people know that you simultaneously have a lot of personality, but none at all.
Yeah,
she is the Bushwick poster child for sure. That's great. It's like I made in a lab shit.
She's like the grown in a test tube Mac DeMarco fan.
Do people still listen to Mac DeMarco?
I have no idea.
No, man.
I only listen to rap. I have no idea.
You listen to Rabbi who?
I don't know. I only listen to rap.
Based
Oh,
rabbi.
okay.
Well, you were halfway there. He only listens to
Jewish rap.
He only listens to Jewish rap.
Mac Miller. Drake.
Black Israelite
I
rap.
only listen
Lil
to
Dicky.
Randy Newman, which is about as close as you can get to Jewish rap. So
What about Rick Moranis?
Rick Moranis got knocked out, right? He got
That was sad.
that was sad.
Yeah.
That was sad.
You got canceled?
No, he got punched by a random street thug.
Oh, that's the guy who just got decked in the street. Like the video of him just walking down the street.
It's the guy from
laid out.
freaking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I love Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Classic
I do.
stuff. Classic stuff.
I
Ghostbusters.
respect him.
Honey, I got
He
punched in
was
the face
born
on
in
the street
Toronto.
by a stranger.
Did you guys know that?
Honey, I was the victim of the knockout game.
Honey, I'm the real life Jesse Smollett.
Oh my god.
I'm the white Smollett.
Also, I'm sorry I ramble.
I think Chris Evans, the guy who played Captain America, like retweeted that and was like, "This is ridiculous. Like, someone needs to find this guy." And he got like in trouble because it was just some like black youth in New York or something, and people were like, "This is terrible. Like, you're not supposed to post about this." And like him just being a dumb, because he's an actor, and like all actors are like really stupid people. He's just like, "Whoa, like Rick Moranis. Whoa, my member berries. We need to get this kid." And then people are like,
Justice for Rick Moranis.
You're right.
Say his name.
Chris Evans and Andy No crossover episode.
Oh, that's fucking amazing. I didn't know that happened. That's why.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucked up.
Well, I don't want to be wasting your time because I gotta go to this memorial thing. But it was nice talking to y'all.
No, this is great. We'll do it again sometime for sure.
Oh my gosh! Yay! Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about the women question.
We need answers.
Absolutely.
So,
we'll get some more answers next time.
yeah.
Okay, toodles. Bye.
All right, see you, son.
Take care.